This Sunday, November 5th at 3 p.m. at the Lutheran Church of the Cross, the Mennonite Community Orchestra will be performing a concert that they are calling The Power of Hope. This particular concert will be a tribute to Ukraine and will feature works by Ukrainian composers Mykola Lysenko and Valentin Silvestrov. Also on the program, the orchestra will be performing Dvorak's absolutely thrilling Symphony Number 7. And joining me here over Zoom to talk about the Mennonite Community Orchestra's upcoming concert, I am joined by their conductor, Andrea Bell. Hi, Andrea. It's nice to talk to you again.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm. Before we talk about the community orchestra concert, I have to ask about the 100th anniversary concert for the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras. You are their conductor as well. How was the 100th anniversary concert?
It was so much fun, Chris. We had about 100, I think it was 115 people on stage. So the Winnipeg Youth Symphony Orchestra, the senior youth orchestra that I conduct, they were performing side by side with the symphony musicians, and we had a bunch of alumni join. I played as an alumni. I had friends coming in from out of town, so it was really a thrilling experience for everyone.
Yeah, everything I've heard about it was just a fantastic and very fun concert. And now this weekend, you and the Mennonite Community Orchestra are performing this wonderful program of music. The concert is a tribute to Ukraine. Can you talk about how the orchestra decided you wanted to put on music from Ukraine and sort of make it this center of at least the first half of the program?
Yeah, for sure. So with Mennonite Community Orchestra, we're having fun in programming where we're trying to look at community partners that we can work with. And we have a couple of excellent musicians who are recent immigrants from the Ukraine. And so they helped us choose some repertoire. And there's so many great Ukrainian composers. And one of the works that we chose I had never even heard of, and then we playing it, it's fantastic. The orchestra loves it. That the overture to Taras Bulba is such a fun work, big exciting work. And of course Silvestrov, more people have heard of Silvestrov, amazing composer. And so we're doing his Prayer for the Ukraine, which is a gorgeous arrangement for small orchestra.
Mm-hmm. I first have to ask about the Taras Bulba overture. Again, they're contrasting works between the Taras Bulba and the Prayer for Ukraine by Silvestrov. What is it like conducting in front of that wall of sound that the Taras Bulba overture creates?
It is.
Talk about
It
that.
makes me feel powerful. It's such a fun piece to conduct because it's just huge and exciting, and the players in the orchestra are just so fabulous. So we've got this massive string section, massive winds, full brass percussion. It's a very thrilling work to conduct for sure, and to listen to. It's really exciting.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you've got the Silvestre of Prayer for Ukraine. I know this piece actually as a choral work. Who did the orchestration for it, and what's it like as an orchestral piece?
Yeah, the orchestration's gorgeous. It's by Geese, and it's a lovely arrangement. So it's a different arrangement than the symphony has performed Prayer for Ukraine, but that's a different arrangement. This one's also gorgeous. So it's for a smaller, sort of reduced chamber orchestra,
Mm,
and yeah, the choral version is so beautiful. But it's pretty similar to the choral version. It has that very choral kind of feel to it, gorgeous sound, and very lush.
and meditative as well. Is there any difference in orchestration between the Taras Bulba overture and the Silvestrov? Can you talk about how the two pieces differ that way?
Yeah. So the Taras Bulba is full force. It's full forces of winds, brass. I think we have 5 percussion players for that. So
Mm,
big, fun, very uh, bombastic. Even it's just so exciting. And
mm,
really, Silvestrov is completely the opposite side. Very, as you said, yeah, meditative, but just and simple. It's just so simple and gorgeous and very heartfelt, which is a beautiful piece. So those two pieces are definitely a contrast in mood.
mm, mm. One of the other highlights of the first half is that you're going to be premiering this little new piano concerto written by CMU student Liam Barry uh, with the soloist. Help me out with the pronunciation name here. Georg Neuhofer or George
Yeah,
Neuhofer?
Georg. Yeah,
Georg
Georg.
Neuhofer. Uh,
Fantastic. So exciting. Such a great work.
And he's a student of my friend Shirley Elias at
Mhm.
CMU. What can you tell us about this piece, and where does the title come from? Rain's Dance. Can you talk about that piece a bit?
Oh my goodness, I'm not sure I know where the title comes from. So Liam Barry is a fantastic young composer, and a working composer. He has numerous works under his belt already, and him and Georg are friends. And he wrote Georg this piece for Manitoba, or the Mennonite Community Orchestra, and with Georg playing. It is just a beautiful work. It's really very thrilling that we're able to premiere this work. And the piano part is extremely challenging, and Georg is just fantastic. And
Mm.
the orchestral parts, I was joking with the orchestra. It's making me sweat bullets. There's a few challenges in with this, and lots of really fun funky key changes, time signature changes. It's an exciting work, so I think, and very accessible, so I think it will be an audience favorite for sure. Sometimes when we first listen to music, you kind of go, well, maybe I need a couple of listens. This is not one of those pieces. It just hooks you in right away, with lots
Mm.
of gorgeous lush harmonies and interesting rhythmic kinds of passages. Very exciting.
Yeah, I know Liam Barry. I know one of his big influences, both film and actually video game music. Are there elements of that in the concerto as well, of that sound?
Well, I'm not much of a video gamer, but I do. My students are all obsessed with video game music, so I certainly am checking some of it out just because my students are like, "Have you heard this? Have you heard this?" And I don't play video games, but so it's hard for me to speak on that, but to me, it's hard to say. Like, it's so beautiful. It could be awesome, interesting film music or video game music. I don't know. Those, I think, when you're a great composer, you can kind of transcend any of those genres, and this music is so accessible and interesting that it could pop into any of those.
Mm-hmm. And then on the second half of the program, the Mennonite Community Orchestra is playing Dvorak's Fantastic Symphony Number 7. Have you
Yeah.
conducted it before? And for you, does it create any challenges?
Oh, I love this piece so much. So I did it a few years ago with youth orchestra, with the senior youth orchestra, and it was a good challenge for them, but they did a fantastic job. And I also have a special place in my heart for this piece because this was one of my first, when I was in youth orchestra as a kid, we did this piece. And also, being a cellist, this is a good cello symphony. It's got Dvorak has such good cello tunes, so there's
Yeah.
my cello bias coming out. But it's just such an exciting work for everyone to perform. It's challenging, it's gorgeous, and it's a massive work too. So it's very
Mm.
fun for us to perform, and it's an absolute thrill for me to conduct it.
Yeah, yeah. And just for the record, as a wind player, the wind writing is amazing as well. It's really,
Yeah,
really, really great.
yeah,
Um,
totally.
so the first half of the concert is nationalistic from a Ukrainian standpoint. You know, you're featuring music of the Ukrainian composers, but the Seventh Symphony of Dvorak for me is very nationalistic as well. It's
Mhm.
really the first of Dvorak's symphonies to come out with his real sort of Slavic soul. When you were rehearsing it with the orchestra, what kind of details were you working on with the community orchestra to sort of get those characters across?
Oh, that's a good question. So, well, certainly just even, conveying those nationalistic kind of feelings, and it feels very, um, you know, patriotic, and it has, very emotional. And so we were talking a little bit about, some of the sentiment that's coming through, and yeah, it's such a, like, it is an emotional work. I find it very emotional and very inspiring, and also just moments of beauty where you can just sort of, you can picture the landscape,
Yeah,
and those
yeah,
kind
for
of good.
sure, for sure. And the third movement for me is sounds like it could come right of his out of his Slavonic dances. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's
totally. Yeah.
it's a really great dancing movement.
I have
What
to
is
I have to be careful that I don't start bopping too much when I start. That's when I start conducting and dancing. It's like, I don't think anybody wants to see me dancing up there, but but I can't help it. It has such a great dance feel.
Mm. For you, what is one of the favorite things about conducting Dvorak 7? And I also have to wonder if there's any plans for youth orchestra, if you're planning on playing any of Dvorak's music either this year or perhaps programming it for next year.
That's a great question. I just started on Monday. We started Dvorak 8 with my youth orchestra. So that's another good one too. So that's exciting. So we just started Dvorak 8 after our big concert. So yeah, maybe I have a little bit of Dvorak obsession lately. I don't know. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. Andrea, the concert on Sunday at 3 o'clock at the Lutheran Church of the Cross with the Mennonite Community Orchestra sounds like it is going to be just really fantastic. All the best, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. This has just been great. For our Classic 107 listeners, if you go to classic107.com, I've written an article about the concert, The Power of Hope, with the Mennonite Community Orchestra. And in the article, I have included a direct link to the MCO's website where you can find out more details and get tickets. Andrea, thanks again.
Thanks for having me, Chris.